I know that certain opinions aren't valued too much. Mine might be one of them, and that's okay. But since mine probably ain't one of them, I will ask for other opinions, though. I mean, what would you say about what extent, especially for Christians and or any religion, as far as that goes? And I'm not atheist by no means. I do believe in a God. I do believe that there is a God, if not more, if not more than one. And controversial opinions are devalued too. So, but for most religions, what extent do you think they'll go through to cover up a big web of deception? For example, Moses parting the Red Sea, claiming he spoke with God, claiming he received tablets from God. Parting seas, Jesus walking on water, pretty much trying, pretty much it seems the goal, my opinion, the goal is to use something that people don't have a lot of understanding of. You have your texts, you have your written text, your books. I've read well, I don't even know if I've read most of the Bible, but I've read a lot of it. But you have texts on this on a God, and that's the big thing about Judaism. The whole point, and again, this is my opinion, my observations. These are how I put the puzzle together. Monotheistic God, only one God, one all-knowing God. It's all forms of Judaism. It's all started with, like I said, in my opinion, somebody using something that they don't understand anyway to get their way, escape from whatever clenched, whatever had a grip on them, whatever had them bound. And part of that deception, in that bondage, and again, in my opinion, part of that deception is they were bound for no reason. They were bound for no reason. Some group of people randomly snatched up a bunch of Jews and held them captive and held them ransom, or who knows what the story is. I've read it, but it don't specify. It just said they were led out of the land of bondage. And another controversial topic that I get into, that I believe, I promised myself, I told myself I wasn't going to put this stuff on YouTube. Stuff like this make me burn up my homemade pipe. It's a pretty pipe, though. It looks like Christmas. But they were led out of the land of bondage. From what I've read and what I could understand of it. And again, this is my own take. I read the Bible. I didn't go to. I didn't. And I would say I'm most heavily influenced by the Baptist church. If I were to pick one. Churches that I've attended, they've been Baptist. But I've never had any. It was mostly just, they'll quote a few lines out of it. They quote a few lines out of it. And they'll go on preaching about whatever they're preaching about. That is what. It wasn't like Bible studies, which they have too. I never really went to a Bible study where they explain their opinion, their views on the Bible. So these are my views, what I've read by myself. I've read the Bible by myself. This is how I put it together. This is how I understood it. These are how the sequence of events added up to my head. They were led out of the land of bondage. And that's pretty much all it says about that. They were led out of the land of bondage. It didn't say they were bonded because they committed a crime. It didn't say. It didn't say they had a big plan on how they were going to destroy the pyramids, or it didn't specify that, or that they were caught doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. It just says they were led out of the land of bondage, the house of bondage. And like I said, I think it was a web of deception. That they're and they are the one that invented the idea of one God. There's only one all-knowing God to trick, deceive, and it worked. And I definitely think that they had help by whatever God they were praying to at the time. The God of jealousy. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it's worded. He is the God of jealousy. He's a jealous God that led them out of the land of bondage. I'm sure if somebody, and now it's hard to tell, because when you get into stuff like this, you're going to uncover, you're going to expose lies. You're going to expose lies. Lies, deception, cheats, fraud. Captain Black, by the way. Fraud. I did mix some 10-star in with it myself. Fraud. Deception to get out of the land. And in my opinion, it was a way to get out of trouble. They were in trouble with somebody they got involved with. And in my opinion, and this is why I think the fuck the man, excuse my language, but that in their words, the Black Power, the Panther thing, the man, they don't support man's stuff, the man, okay? Like I said, in my opinion, and it's probably not very valued, and I don't expect this to get too many views, go too far. It's probably going to be the only one I put on there anyway. But in my opinion, like it said in the beginning, when it talks about the story of Adam and Eve, I think that's the beginning of the pyramid. I think that's what started the construction of the pyramids, was the story of Adam and Eve. I think it's simple, and I think it's obvious why it's not ever been. I think it's elementary, and why it's never been addressed, or why nobody's ever addressed it before or ever seen it this way. But like I said, I think, and even in most studies, they say the pyramids were built in some miraculous time. They can't understand how the pyramids were built. Well, the only thing that don't make sense to me, and I am pretty well educated. I think I had a good education. They were built in some crazy amount of time before somebody even died by today's standards. And that's what, 60, 70 years? And they're saying that they're dying at 30. They were built in 30 years. I think it could be a 900-year-old man's life work. And again, some opinions ain't valued, but that's okay. My opinions help me. I think they can help other people, but that is my opinion. And being a monogamous male, that's how I viewed it. And me being the first person to say it, it's going to be highly controversial. It ain't going to be valued. And this is the reason why I didn't want to put it on here. Is it's got a lot. There's multiple reasons why I don't. It's not going to be valued, or at the same time, going to be tried to be plagiarized. Plagiaristic people will try to snatch it up, and I don't really have the means of securing it right now. But that is my opinion, and these topics will make me burn some pops up, I guess. But it could be a 900-year-old man's life work. Could have took 900 years to build one of them pyramids. That's the way I see it. And I think whatever trouble or whatever the big commotion that was brought forth upon them, the Egyptians, had to do with that specifically. In the beginning, it says a serpent. A serpent told them to eat the fruit of knowledge. And I think they just kept building on that. Animal after animal. And somebody's God got jealous. And as they were building these, I'm sure thieves, all kinds of criminalistic activity. Was running through, and they were just tying people up for trying to steal stuff or murder, rape, whatever criminal, murder, rape, thievery. And I also believe they were trying, and at the same time, trying to copy what they had seen, or what Adam and Eve done. Trying to find a way to recreate that. Had to bust out and then try to find a way to recreate it, just based on a few details they might have got a hold of. Anyway, it's a long subject, and it's a little hard to talk about. And like I said, I'm a little new to this. It's not really my thing, but it's kind of hard to just sit and talk. I mean, it's thought, but it's also better to have conversation too, have feedback coming in and then coming back out. But that's just my opinion. That's how I see it, and it's never been brought up that way. I've never heard nobody speak on it like that anyway. It's always, and I think that's how they got out, and that's how they're staying out. And if this somehow had it got a rise, it would be bad news for them. If this got a rise out of anybody.